So let's start by sitting up tall and shake out any jitters you might have. And then maybe a few clearing breaths. And after you take a few of those deeper breaths, just relax your breath and allow yourself to experience breathing. Experience the rhythm of your breath and other qualities that come in through your breath. Let yourself be in them. The breath is purifying, and at the same time, it allows us to be receptive to nature. And the time that we're coming into at this time, which so many traditions celebrate, so many cultures all through history, is the same principle, that there is a purification that occurs within us so that we can become receptive to higher forces. We can become receptive to our higher nature. Yoga itself is carrying that focus for thousands of years. So in that spirit today, let's focus on the breath in the two qualities in particular, in which it is purifying our weaknesses, purifying our qualities that we may not particularly see as helpful to ourselves or others. And then allowing the other quality of receptivity, being open to receive the higher qualities that are based in love, that are helpful towards ourselves and others. So now, focusing on the breath, let's begin to deepen it if you haven't already. Purifying on exhalation, receiving on inhalation. And even with what was already said, let's look at our mantra maybe a little more deeply. Same words for the translation, but maybe something else strikes you. I bow to the presence of the divine within, our true and highest teacher, that lives in and around us as being, consciousness, and bliss. It is ever present and radiates peace, lighting the way to transformation. Let's chant Om 3 times today, and then we'll move into our mantra right from there. Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. At this time, we'll start to move the body. So let's come all the way down to the back and find some extension in the legs. And take the legs forward. Release the arms behind. And we're going to individually explore the position of lying on the back. So that means that if you feel extension, extend. If you feel contraction, contract. So you could bring a knee in and bring hand to knee, and then alternate, and just allowing for free movement at this time. Free exploration. Of course, we're limited by the position of being on the back, but there's still so much movement that we can take while we're in this position. So in that limitation, find freedom. You can come into twists, you can come into reclining pigeon, happy baby, a movement or a posture that has no name. And we'll continue for another minute exploring, because you've had this body for some time. We've all had these bodies for some time. So we can be comfortable in them. We can move in them. We can feel the power that we have to control them in one way or another and to experience the limbs and the breath. To put ourselves in different positions that we may or may not be comfortable with. And just evening out. This is our minute. So evening out, seeing if there's something else that you need to finish up. And then we'll be meeting with arms out to a T and the feet planted, the knees bent. We'll flip the palms upwards. Okay, so with the arms out to a T, the feet planted, let's pick up the feet and bring the knees closer in towards the trunk. Keep the arms where they are. And then on the next inhalation, lift the legs upwards towards the sky. So lift the feet upwards. And then exhale, bend the knees. Now we're going to go into the opposite direction, so with the breath. So the knees are bent. Take an inhalation. On the exhalation, straighten the legs. Inhale, bend the legs. Exhale, straighten. Let's continue this. Inhaling, bending the legs. Exhaling, straightening as best as you can. They don't have to straighten up all the way, but pull the belly in on the exhalation so we can tone the belly while we're here. Inhaling, exhaling. Maybe you shift right into that victorious breath where you have the throat somewhat active to control the pace of the breath, the rate of the breath. Continue with the legs just like this for about 1 minute. Nice and slow, matching the breath and the motion of the legs. Okay, so we'll go ahead and meet with the knees bent, and we'll find a spinal twist. So taking knees over to the right side, let them fold over to the right, keep the left shoulder blade down. The right leg is probably going to find the floor. The left leg might still be lifted a little bit, and that's okay. The foot will probably meet the right foot, left knee might be lifted. Let's just turn the head side to side as we keep the shoulders down. Then we'll keep turning the head away from the knees. Let's bring the attention to the left armpit towards the chest, right in that space where you're feeling some stretching. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths, concentrating our minds in that section as we take those breaths. And we can bring the head to center. Look down towards the knees. You might notice that the left knee has dropped a little bit. And then we'll come to center. Knees come to center. But we're going to plant feet down first and adjust the hips. So we're going to line up the hips. So feet plant, lift the hips, lower them down. And then inhale, lift the knees. Once again, lift the feet. And then exhaling, Knees over to the left. And again, feet probably meet each other, but the knees probably don't quite yet, unless you have a lot of flexibility in rotating the spine. Now, keeping the arms to a T, we'll continue to move the head side to side in our simple spinal twist. Knees are resting to the left. Arms are pressed down, palms flipped up. And just moving the head a couple more times. And then we'll be turning the head away from the knees, keeping the right shoulder down, right shoulder blade down. And bring the attention to the armpit and then in towards the chest. Feeling some stretching there. We'll focus the mind there as we take 3 deep breaths. And we'll turn the head to the left, looking at the knees, seeing the right knees probably more comfortably resting now. And then we'll bring the legs back to center, plant the feet down, lift the hips just slightly, and then lower them right back down so that the hips are lined up now. Let's now come into a bridge posture. So we're going to bring the arms down alongside the body. And I think we'll take this in wave-like motion today, actually. So let's first bring the pelvis in and feel the low back press into the mat. Make sure the feet are close to the glutes, close to the bottom here. Might be able to pull them in with the hands. Pull the pelvis in, feel the low back meet the mat, and then inhale, lift the hips upwards. And then we'll exhale, lower them down. So just be mindful of where the feet are placed. So actually, I can see from here that sometimes the feet are touching, and we don't want them to touch here. So check in and see where they are. Heel toe them apart so that they match the sitting bones. Right? So if you look up, you will see the thighs parallel to each other and hips distance apart, and then the feet are going to be the same. There we go. So now we have our position. So we'll inhale, lift the hips up, and then this time take the arms upwards and behind. And we'll rest here for a moment just to get somewhat comfortable with this position. The knees are drawing towards each other, so we're not going to let forces open the legs. We're going to keep them where they were. And then on the exhale, lower the hips, lower the arms down. Now let's go ahead and try that again. So we'll inhale, lift the hips, take the arms up and behind. And then as you exhale, you might start with the arms first. Do what feels right. Or the arms might follow last. I like them to follow last. Inhale, lift the hips, arms come up and behind. Exhale, lower them down. Continue like this at the pace of the breath. Inhaling, receiving. Exhaling, detoxifying, purifying. Inhaling, receiving without getting lazy. Exhaling, letting go. Keep going. We'll go for a minute like this. And there's our minute. So once you've lowered the hips down, just rest the arms alongside the body. Taking a few deep, nourishing breaths. In order for them to be nourishing, they have to be also purifying. So letting every particle that's used air out. Drawing fresh air in. Now from here, we'll inhale and lift the right leg upwards. Keep the left foot planted. Take about 3 breaths here, keeping the legs straight up, and every exhalation, pull the belly in. And make sure at the bottom of that exhale, you can contract, really pulling. That final belly contracting, or final contraction of the belly on that final exhale there. And then we'll bring the right foot to the left thigh. Send this right knee away. Flex the right foot. We'll come into reclining pigeon. Pick up the left leg and then hold the left leg with the hands. Okay, so checking in, we have right ankle on top of left thigh, and we're holding the left leg. So we're stretching the right glutes. When you were taking those back bends, you probably were sensing that the glutes were doing some work. So that's a good strengthening activity for the back body. And the core does some work there too. But we want to open up, especially those areas that we gave some warmth to. Through contraction, through mental activation. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. Every exhalation, we're pulling the leg in a little closer. Now you have an option to stay in this position or to come into a pigeon's posture that we typically take with the right shin down and the left leg behind, the trunk up to start. And we'll get there, if you'd like to get there, we'll get there by planting the left foot, releasing the right ankle, and then we can just roll to the right side and keep this right leg as best as you can. Just keep the right leg kind of in this formation. You'll swing the left leg behind. So if you get there any other way, just let it be like a sense that there's a continuity from the back in that posture to the heart facing down. And then we'll lower the head and find support for it. About 3 more deep breaths here. Now, if you stayed on the back, you're going to start to make your way up we'll say to a table posture. If you're in your pigeon with the heart down, you're going to be here for another moment. And then we're going to start to come out of this and let this turn into a side plank. So we can roll over the back toes. We can take the right foot back to meet the left, right into a plank. And if you're going to go into the stronger variation, you'll just roll the feet to the left edges and pick up the right arm. If you're going to have some support with the left knee, you can have it down and it can be behind the hip. And then we'll pick up the right arm once again. So right toes are going to face forward no matter what. Left palm is down, right arm is up. Arms are straight. And then we'll take about 3 deep breaths. So side plank to the right means that we've got the right arm up and we're turned to the right. Now we're going to exhale the right hand down and step the left foot forward. So because we're all going to be in individual positions, just kind of have to follow your own intuition, your own sense. And then from here we're going to find a standing split. So we'll take the hands and walk them forward and then lift the right leg upwards. See if you can straighten both of the legs. And if it's difficult to do, then bring some blocks underneath the hands. Spread the right toes. When you do that, notice what else becomes active. Now we'll be here for about maybe 3 more breaths. You might let the head go and just look right behind this left leg. Now what we'll do is bend the left leg and bring the right shin behind the left foot. Bring the shin all the way down to the mat. We'll be twisting. You know, I'd like to twist to the right actually, so we're going to keep the left foot where it is. So this is an opening variation. We'll have, once we come to a seat, come all the way down to your bottom and have this left foot on top, not on top, but on the mat. No, our structure is very different today. So we have to just kind of trust ourselves. Right foot underneath the left thigh, turn to the right. Left hand to left ankle, right hand behind, and then twisting the head to the right. Sending the heart as far right as you can. Still staying with the qualities of the breath. One more breath. And then we'll inhale, come to center. Now we're going to come into pigeon on the back again, but with the left side. So come all the way down. Once you're there, you can plant the right foot. And then we'll send this left leg directly upwards. So we have right foot planted, left leg risen. Okay, next exhalation, left ankle on top of the right thigh. We want to send the left knee away and flex the left foot pick up the right leg and hold the right leg with the hands. So while we're here, we can close the eyes and just soften the face. Again, focusing on the purifying action of the exhalation. The nutrition that we're bringing in the inhalation and the receptivity that's inherent in the inhalation. On the exhalation, we are, again, letting go of what is used. And we can even go further and think what is used is our lower habitual nature, our conditioning, our habits that we're unconscious of, and we can release those on the exhalation as part of that purification that's physically occurring with the body as we change the body itself. We change the past of the body. We'll take 3 more breaths or so in this position. And then again, you can either stay here or you can creatively find your way to a pigeon posture on the left side with the heart face down. So if you find your way there, you'll have that left knee forward, the left shin down. You'll have the right leg back, and then slowly release, lowering the heart towards the mat. Resting the head somewhere so that the neck doesn't have to do any work. It does enough work. We want it to rest and restore. So in this position, about 3 more deep breaths. So now we'll be turning this into side plank. This time we'll have the right hand down and the left arm risen. So let's start to rise, bring the hands down. See if you'd like to come into a full plank first by rolling over the back toes and then lifting the left leg and sending it back so the feet meet each other. And then again, maybe bring the right knee down for some support Either way, we'll be rolling to the right edge of the left foot, and then we'll pick up the left arm. So the right knee, when you're in your side plank, is going to be further back behind the right hip, but not necessarily. It can be underneath as well. So just see what works for you. This is really, really wonderful position to help strengthen the sides of the back and the obliques. Acquiring strength in the arm. Let's take about 2 more breaths. And we'll exhale, bring the left hand down. Now either from table or from your plank, you'll step the right foot forward this time. And we'll come into a standing split. So walk the hands forward and then lift the left leg as you straighten the right leg. So again, maybe using blocks to help so that you can find that straight standing leg. And then we'll spread the left toes. Notice what that activates. Looking past the right leg so you can drop the head. Let yourself be upside down for a moment. I'll take 3 more breaths. And then from here, we'll start to bend the right leg, bend the left leg, plant the left shin behind the right foot, and then walk the hands back so you can come to seated right on the bottom. The feet are pretty much in their place, but just check in with the right foot planted forward and the left foot underneath the right hip. And then we'll twist to the right. So we'll hold the right ankle, take the left hand behind, fingers facing back, lift the heart, and then begin to turn the head to the left. Now just check in with the position of the head. So the head it's neutral in terms of the position of the chin, right? So it doesn't drop down, it isn't lifted up. It's just turning to the left. But the eyes are still level to the ground. 2 more breaths. And now we'll come to center. Okay, so rather than coming down to the back, we're going to cross the ankles one in front of the other. Let's take the hands behind, interlace the fingers, and then just begin to squeeze the shoulders back. As you're here, let's draw the chin forward and then pull the chin inward and keep the chin in. And release the hands, release the shoulders. Rolling forward onto hands and knees. Adjust the knees so they're under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. We'll move through a few cat-cows here, very focused on strengthening the belly on our exhalations. So inhaling, dropping the belly, lifting the head and the tailbone. Exhaling, engaging the belly, and then really pulling it up the bottom of the exhale. Put more effort. Inhaling, relaxing. Exhaling, purifying, and then we can strengthen at the bottom of that exhale. So on that full exhalation, when it's complete, again, finding that strength in the belly. Keep moving at your pace, using Ujjayi breath. That victorious breath, it's the victorious breath, victorious in the overcoming of obstacles. Okay, from here we're going to meet in cow, belly sunken, head and tailbone lifted. And then we'll walk the hands forward a step and come into downward facing dog. Roll over the toes, lift the knees, take the hips up and back. About 5 deep breaths here. Really sense the extension of the back and also the muscles that are active there as you push away from the hands. Let's look forward and then float the feet forward to the top of the mat into a forward fold. From here, we'll be inhaling, halfway up, lengthen the spine, lift the arms, can be behind you or out to the sides, and then rise all the way up into standing with that straight back. Once you're there, reach the arms upwards, look up, engage the thighs, engage the glutes, and then begin to take the arms back into a little bit of a back bend. Neutral spine, palms together, draw the thumbs in towards the heart center. As you're here, keep the hands where they are, send the shoulders down. Now you might pick them up and then send them down again. So a little bit of circling while the hands stay close together. And then setting the shoulders back and down, pull the pelvis in. Now from here, we'll step the left foot to the back of the mat. And let's keep the back heel planted. So we'll come into warrior A with the legs, coming into a lunge, back heel planted. To do that, left toes will naturally come to the left a little bit, but we don't want them to go further than that little bit, couple like 1 or 2 inches. From here, let's bring the hands in front of the face, so keeping the palms together. And then let's bring the elbows together as well. So you see like the arms are closed up. Right, so elbows and hands together, and just experience what is this like with the shoulders, with the forearms. Now we're going to open the arms and keep the elbows level with the shoulders. So opening them, keeping the bend in the elbows. Palms face forward. Now as you're here, you might be able to get deeper into your lunge by heel toeing the right foot forward. On the next inhale, lift the arms upwards, begin to extend them. On the exhale, bend the elbows once again. Inhaling, extending the arms up. So just like you're moving into lat pull downs, exhaling, elbows down. Take about 5 or 6 more of these. Inhaling, exhaling. Strong foundation in the legs. in the spine. Now we'll extend one more time. We'll bend, and then we'll bring the forearms together. Once again, the palms together. Now from here, let's find eagle arms. So we're going to keep the elbows together. Well, we're going to have to move them around each other, kind of like they're revolving. So we'll take one elbow in front and then to the other side as best as we can to come into eagle. Well, maybe we keep the tops of the hands together, or maybe we can bring the palms together. So arms are twisted up like pretzels. Take the elbows forward, reach them upwards. Now begin to turn the left toes to face the left side of the mat, and then turn the right toes to face the right side of the mat. So now we have straight legs. Separate the feet from one another a little bit more. And then on the next exhale, bend the elbows. I'm sorry, not the elbows, bend the knees and begin to lower the trunk. Keep the arms as they are. Once you lower, you might find that it feels better to have the toes pointing inwardly towards each other. You can stretch the ankles as well, releasing the head. Two more deep breaths. And unwind the arms and just release here for a moment. Let the shoulders relax, let the neck relax. Take a clearing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's come to a twist while we're here. So bring the palms down, straighten the arms. You might need a block underneath the heart center for the hand, but we'll have the left hand down, palm pressed down, the fingers spread wide, and then inhale the right arm up. So now we're very much like in that same position with the upper body as we were in that side plank, but the lower body, very different position. Next exhalation, right hand comes down where the left hand was, right under the heart center. And then inhale, pick up the left arm. Exhaling, left hand down. Hold here for a nice deep breath. Actually, we'll be here just a little longer so we can come into that sensation of letting go and that exhalation, giving yourself an opportunity to let the control of the back go, let the control of the arms and the neck and the head, let all of that go. So we have to let go in certain areas, but in other areas, not so much. Otherwise, we would collapse completely. So the legs are providing our foundation, providing support. Next inhalation, come up halfway, straighten the arms, walk to the front of the mat and to the right in the front, hands around the right foot. Step the left foot forward. Now earlier we came up in one swooping action, so we'll do that again. Inhale, come up halfway, bring the arms out, and then rise all the way up to standing position with the back still straight. Reach the arms upwards, engage the thighs, engage the glutes, and then send the arms back into a back bend. You probably see a ceiling above you. See if you can mentally see past that ceiling. And then we'll come to neutral spine, palms together. Draw the thumbs in towards the heart center. Step the right foot to the back of the mat. We're getting ready to set up again to have the right heel press down. Come into that lunge with the left knee, lunging forward. Strong foundation in the lower body. Strong foundation in the spine. Then we'll bring the hands in front of the face once again and let the elbows meet each other. Still lunging into the left knee. Now we'll lift the elbows slightly so that they're lined up with the shoulders. And then we'll inhale, open the elbows out. Exhale, close the arms once again. Inhale, open the elbows. And then pause here for a couple deep breaths. Maybe finding more distance between the feet. And then now we'll continue with inhaling the arms upwards. Exhaling, pulling the elbows down, out to the sides. Continue a few more of these. Slow, conscious, and careful motion, coordinated with breath. And then once more, we'll take the arms up, we'll bend the elbows, we'll bring the forearms together, palms together. And then from here, we'll find eagle arms in the opposite order. So if you took your elbow, right elbow inside of the left, this time you'll take left elbow inside of the right. Find the position with the arms that makes sense for your body. Send the elbows forward and up. Now we'll be pivoting to the right side of the mat, opening to the right. Legs are straight. I'm going to turn around and face you. Then as you exhale, you can bend the knees to start to fold. Releasing the head, still sending the elbows away, maybe turning the toes in a little bit, sending heels out. Okay, one more deep breath. And then unwind the arms and just relax in the shoulders, the neck. We're going to twist again. Bring the palms down, straighten the arms. Plant one hand underneath the heart center, doesn't matter which, and then inhale, pick up the other arm. Exhale, that top arm down, switching sides, inhaling the other arm up. Now notice that the head is dropped. Pick up the head so that the neck is level with the rest of the spine. And we'll exhale, bring the hand down. Relax into this fold. Focus on that process of purification. It's just one quality of the breath, and again, one quality that we are consistently being called to do through our own individual evolution. Releasing the old up, the old and the used up. Drawing the fresh and the new in. And we'll start to rise halfway, bring the palms down, straighten the arms. We'll walk over to the front foot, right foot, hands around it, step the left foot up. We're going to come into a standing posture before we come back down towards the floor, and then we will start to rest. We'll come into resting. So let's start to roll the spine so that we can rise to standing. And once we're here, roll the shoulders a few times. I feel like it's been a while since we've taken a tree posture, and that is one of my favorite postures because the trees have so much wisdom in them, so much we can learn from the concept of a tree. So let's come to a standing position. You may want a wall or a chair close by. If your mat is cushioning and you have carpet, you'll want to step off of it unless you want the extra challenge, which will put you off balance a little bit. So when you're ready, we'll bring palms together, thumbs to the heart center, and just stand tall and feel the feet, feel the four corners of the feet. So that means lift the toes, and then you can sense the four corners. The toes aren't included in those corners. They do help with balance, of course, and with flexibility of the feet. But in terms of standing tall in a foundation, sense the four corners of the rectangle that creates your foot. And then you can put the toes down without shifting weight forward. Now engage both of the thighs, engage both of the glutes. When you engage the glutes, you feel that you have to pull the pelvis in, it's part of it. Then we come over to the left leg, that strong leg, pick up the right foot and bring the foot to the inside of this leg without relaxing and getting lazy in the muscles we just activated in the left leg in particular. So your foot can stay close to the ankle for balance, or you can draw it up with the hand towards the upper thigh, or anywhere in between. Then when you feel balanced, take the arms up. If you don't feel balanced, don't worry about the arms. It's important that we go step by step in our development in general and in our physical postures. Certain stages must be developed before we go into the further stages. Once you find that position, 5 breaths. Keep the right knee pressing away from the left leg. That's the trick. We'll keep the balance. And then we'll start to come out of it. So we'll bring the hands back in, release the foot. Roll your ankles, shake out the legs. And we'll start with the other side. So we're going to properly build our foundation, feet hips distance apart, palms can come together. And we'll engage the thighs, engage the glutes. Feel that the pelvis pulled in. Now we start to shift weight into the right leg. Keep the right leg active. Bring the left foot to the inside of the right leg. And then we'll have that left knee pointing out to the left. So another trick to balance is you're learning to be able to be in a posture in a somewhat relaxed way is to first be there in a very active way. So you could push the legs into each other, push the foot into the thigh and the thigh back into the foot. You might need to stay there for a while in that activity before you can come to a more relaxed sense in the left leg. Then maybe take the arms up. Two more breaths. And start to reverse out and release. Let's come to the mat, and we're just going to come right to hands and knees for a moment. So we're going to return to our pigeon. So once you're on hands and knees, we'll just be here for about 3 breaths. We'll take the right leg behind, bring right knee to right hand, slide the left leg back, and then fold right back in. Let the breath be very effective here, so as full of an inhalation as possible, as complete as an exhalation as possible. Since we're here for a shorter period, we want to get the most out of it. The breath is going to help us. Now we'll start to rise and just change sides right into the other side. You can lift it up behind if that's what you did before, you know. Okay, so left knee forward, right leg back. 3 full effective breaths. And we'll start to come out of this side. It's about 3, feels just like a little off, maybe 1 breath off from the other side. So we'll get that in and then we'll come back out of this. Now we're going to be finding our seated position with ankles crossed, sitting up tall. Once we're here, roll the shoulders a few times. Settle the shoulders down, back and down. Bring the hands in towards the upper thighs. Let the hands maybe fold into each other. Let them rest. And then from here, we'll tilt the neck or tilt the head so that one ear comes upwards towards the sky. Roll the shoulder that it's moving away from, that ear is moving away from, and then just send it down. Take a couple deep breaths. And bring the head to center. Send the other ear upwards towards the sky. The shoulder it's moving away from, move that. Send it down. Bring the head to center. Move the head a little bit. Some circle, semicircle, shaking out, because we're going to go one more time to each side. So then we'll come back to a tall seat, tall neck, and then send one ear up towards the sky, sending the shoulder down. Take a clearing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel the shoulders sink. And inhale the head to center. Send the other ear skyward. Send that shoulder down. Nice clearing breath in and out. Bring the head back to center. Move it around. Now we're going to rest before we do side bends, and then we're going to come right to our back. So take the arms out to a T. Bring one hand down, the other arm up and over. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, other side. And we'll inhale, come up to center. And now we're going to rest on the back. So let's come all the way down. If you'd like, you can bring knees into the chest and prepare yourself to rest. If you feel something needs more attention, feel free to find it. Maybe another little spinal twist is what we started with, just a little shorter. Once you're at the point where you can start to release the body, then let the feet be apart from each other. Let the arms be apart from each other, with the hands away from the thighs, the palms flipped upwards. And the entire body is something we are now releasing. And part of what we started with, this idea of purifying we'll call it the lower aspects of ourselves, and we'll say lower in terms of the rate of vibration, and then allowing ourselves to accept the higher parts of ourselves, the higher rate of vibration in which love and compassion would be included. We are releasing the physical body, releasing dense matter. Because this dense matter, when we identify with it, prevents us sometimes, all the time, prevents us from accepting and recognizing the higher parts of who we actually are, the higher nature of love and compassion and openness, that kindness. That's always waiting for us to express it. So here we'll just continue to release the physical body. It's there, it won't go anywhere, it's here. We'll just rest it completely and let ourselves now experience divine love within our hearts in silence. Now, before you move anything, before you even change the breath, sense that divine love in the heart that you were connecting to in a deeper way, and let it spread all the way down through the hips, the legs, down into the feet, so that every step you take is done with that love. And then from the heart center, allow that divine love to spread through the arms, through the elbows and the forearms, the wrists, into the hands, into the palms and the fingers, so that everything you do with these hands is an expression of that love. Then allow that love to spread upwards through the neck, into the vocal cords, and then let it fill through the mouth and the tongue, so that everything that you say is an expression of that divine love. And then allow that same divine love to spread from the mouth upwards, and we'll even go back to the source in the heart center and let it fill upwards again through the neck and up into the space between the eyebrows and right behind it in the brain. The space between the eyebrows, behind that space, in the place that would land you in the brain. And let that be filled with divine love, so that everything you think and perceive is an expression of divine love and a direct perception of that divine love. And then let that divine love draw all the way up to the crown of the head, and sense what that could mean. Allowing that divine love to express itself all the way to the crown of the head, all the way to the soles of the feet, all the way to the palms of the hands. Take a few deep breaths now. Bring movement to the hands and the feet. Feeling maybe energetically different in these spaces. Maybe find length with the body. Maybe draw knees in, arms around the knees. Roll to one side, rest there. Sense the change that has occurred in you from the moment we began our practice to this moment. And then let's find our way up to seated. Feeling that divine love within, always looking to connect to it, seeing how it changes us when we consider it as a real force in our lives. We'll seal our practice. Bring the palms together, and we'll think of others for their peace, their well-being, and their happiness. That the world itself and the humans in it develop, changing and finding their higher nature, so that we can all live in that peace always. I'll offer Mangala mantra, then we'll chant Om together. Om Shanti. Svasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahi mahisha go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace in all the worlds, in all the realms. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you that is the same light in me. Namaste.